What's up, everybody? This is Bishop James Smith, and I pray that all is well. I am really excited about this weekend and what's about to happen. As you all know, I am releasing a project that the Lord inspired me to record. Lord Teach Us How to Pray, which is a prayer CD. It's both instructional and it's a moment of prayer that we walk through together. And I'm actually using social media as a platform to try to really get the word out. This is so new to me, being, in Generation X, not being, of course, knowing technology, but not necessarily understanding all of the nuances of it. Back in the day, we probably would have sent flyers out or put flyers on cars, but now we use social media to try to connect with people. So I really hope that people will, listen to the posts, tag the posts, and share the posts. Pentecost weekend is very significant to the life of every believer, regardless of denomination, because it is at Pentecost when we experience for the first time the manifestation of God's Spirit in the earth, literally being endowed or given to men. It is the comforter, the Spirit of God, the release of God that allows us to stay connected. And the Spirit has come that He might lead us and to guide us into all truth. Prayer, I think, is very essential to that whole understanding, because it was that weekend when the disciples were in the upper room. The Bible says they were praying, they were singing, they were on one accord. And then suddenly there was this tremendous sound from heaven that responded to their sacrifice of prayer, their sacrifice of praise, their sacrifice of worship. And they were all filled. They were all reconnected to God in such a way that had never been experienced before. And so releasing Lord Teach Us How to Pray on Pentecost weekend really is about God reconnect us back. Help us to really stay so into you, so in tune to your flow, in tune to your move, that we don't miss you, that we don't have to make up things as we go along, that the direction, the instruction for our lives are really connected to our ability to hear the moving of the Spirit. I think it's important that as this album is released, there really is a blending of generations, that I make sure that the millennial generation, which I think is a gifted, anointed, and well-positioned generation to carry us forward into the next move of the Spirit, it's important that they be part of this with me. And so I've invited several millennial voices to help me to invoke God's presence through praise and worship, to pray through. The one thing that I appreciate when I was in my 20s was space to exercise and to grow. And so just as we're releasing this album, I want to be real sensitive to the fact that there's another generation coming behind me that really has the power. They need the space. And so I'm praying that on Friday night we can blend those generations between the millennial and Gen Xers and really create an atmosphere that's conducive to prayer. The title of the CD is Lord Teach Us How to Pray. And so for me, it's about blending generations, but it's also about taking moments through the weekend to actually teach, to impart, to share wisdom, to share knowledge. And I'm blessed because I've invited some of my friends who are in my generation, and we've survived some knocks and some bruises, and we've learned some things about prayer. And I think it's very important that we share some of the lessons that we've learned with the next generation, so that, again, we're bridging this gap and we're making a seamless transition between Gen X and millennials. We learned a lot from boomers. I mean, my two apostolic fathers, Apostle Robert Evans Jr. and Bishop Kenneth Moore Sr., they taught me, they poured into me. And it's so important for me then to make sure that I'm pouring into the next generation. And so the panel discussion will lead us into a prayer moment where we'll seize prayer through the power of the throne. There's a distinct difference between Friday night, which we'll spend time on the altar, cleansing ourselves, preparing ourselves for the moment, and then on Saturday, the lessons learned, and then moving right into the place of the boldness of prayer. Well, Sunday will be the culmination of the whole weekend. We'll begin with a citywide morning glory at 8 a.m. And I'm really looking forward to that because the Lord has blessed me over the last several years to be able to lead our morning glory in our Bethel Church's Holy Convocation. And so we don't get to really get together to do that often. And so the Lord laid it upon my heart to really call a citywide morning glory, where we'll just really bombard heaven in that morning worship prayer experience. We'll move right into our Sunday morning worship experience there at Emmanuel Worship and Deliverance Center. And then to close us out on Sunday afternoon, we'll have an hour of power, which is old school, just go back to what we used to do. And in literally 60 minutes, we will start at 4 and we will end at 5 on the dot. But it will be a high celebration time of just magnifying God, blessing God, thanking God, praising God for the release of His Spirit and what that means in the life of the believer in 2018. It's going to be an epic experience on Sunday as we close out and round out the release of Lord Teach Us How to Pray. The best place to start is really with my website, bishopjamessmith.com, and it will have links to our Instagram and our Facebook sites. Lord Teach Us How to Pray is the handle that we use. I'm hoping that people will listen to this post again and share it and spread the word and really make an attempt to really be with us for a part or all of the weekend and have a tremendous time as the Lord is still teaching us how to pray.